Hello, this is Paul Wilson of PRwilsonmedia. A very warm welcome to lesson 2 of the Beginner's Basic Twitter series. So today we're going to be looking at configuring your user account settings and just some basic look at the news feed and what you can see in Twitter immediately. So let's start straight away by logging on with the user account and password you created in lesson 1. Remember, in our example it was for the Grantham Santa Fun Run event, so let's sign in with that. So here we have the default view, so you can see that we've picked up one follower. Let's just see who that is. Oh, it's me. That's okay. And so it's time to do some work and get things set up properly. And what you notice when I clicked on follower is that it brings up my default profile. So this is what I put in the first step, the photograph and the details. But there's more we can do for our account settings, and the way we do that is we go to this wheel here on the right and we click on the down arrow and then we click on settings. And in all of these sections, account, password, email, etc., we can go through one by one and adjust it. So let's talk you through first of all the account settings. Okay, so the first thing to note is that the email setting, there is a checkbox here, let others find me by my email address, although above it it does say in small print email will not be publicly displayed. However, being able to search for an email address is probably not a good idea for a new user setup. People aren't often comfortable with that. Deselect it is my recommendation. Here in the time zone it appears that I'm in Morocco, but it is GMT I guess, but I'll change that to London. You can add a location to each of your tweets. This is another option within Twitter. People can search by location. Again, that's more of an advanced thing if you want people to know where you are. For now, leave that clear. Now, media that may contain sensitive content, mark my media as containing sensitive content. It can be what you can see and how people see, who's allowed to see what you're tweeting. At the moment it's no need to, we haven't got any tweets out there, so we can leave that. Always something to come back to. Now here's the big one, tweet privacy. Protect my tweets. Very tempting to think, right, that's a good option, I'll secure my tweets, but you have to think about the implications of that. In actual fact, what it will do is it means that only people that follow you back can actually see what you're tweeting. Okay, so for example, early on you may have 5 followers, that's your audience. They can see it, no one else can. And if they decide that they want to share some news, if it's an event like this with a wider audience, they can't. The reason why is you're not allowed to retweet somebody with protected tweets. Also, you have to approve everybody that follows you before they can officially be a follower, so it can be quite a long drawn out process, and most people don't tend to follow as much people with protected tweets, so you may be working against yourself. What I would say is perhaps do it for the first few weeks while you just get the feel for Twitter, if you're going to do it gradually, but after that I would say deselect it. It's not really relevant. The good news is up at the top here you see HTTPS. That is now the default on Twitter. That is a secure form of web browsing, so it means that Twitter traffic is generally more protected. Finally, you can select to require personal information to reset your password. Normally you just put in the email address. There could be additional security checks. Again, that's a personal choice. At the moment I would suggest it's not necessary. And United Kingdom is my country, so I'll click Save Changes. I'll be asked to confirm my password, which I'll do, and then it will display thanks, your settings are saved. So let's have another look at these other options. So password, you can see there's an option to associate your mobile phone with your Twitter account, so it can send you an SMS with a particular number if you want to recreate your account. Again, that's something you could look at. I'm not going to do that, but I don't want to put an additional number into the system that could be out there. Personal preference. That's mobile, so you would do it there. Email notifications. Now this is often a stumbling block for new users of Twitter, especially when they start to get new followers and they see a lot of email traffic. Well, the reason is because everything is selected by default. There are all sorts of categories here. Every time I'm followed by someone new, I'm sent a direct message. Pretty much everyone you follow sends you a direct message automatically, so you'll get a lot of emails that way. And when you're followed by someone new, as you start to grow, that could be 50 people a day. So I would say just deselect them all for now, because you can see everything that's happening on Twitter when you have the time to log on. That's the important thing. So just say top stories as a weekly digest, perhaps things I missed since I logged on Twitter, but that's fine, that's enough. We'll save those changes. And I think that's probably the key step in this entire lesson, because with those email settings configured in a more limited sense, you're not going to get disturbed by it, you're not going to get put off by it. Number of times I see it, every time people say, why do I get so many emails? Thanks a lot for setting me up with this. So take heed. Profile, this is great. You've seen that you've already got a picture and you've already got a basic description. You can update the description here, you've got 2 characters left. Great thing here, you can add a website, and this is so important, linking back to your website. Now in the case of this is a specific event, so I've actually uploaded a poster, a poster which has a downloadable link. That's all we need for this, so I'm going to put that into the website here, and that should be a shortened version when it comes out, so just make sure it's got the HTTP set. Location, where in the world are we? We're in Grantham. Happy to put that in. Header, now that's the background that you saw earlier on in your profile. At the moment it's just a grey box. We can make it a little bit more exciting, but there is another area where you can update a picture in the background. You see the cloud settings here in the background. There are a number of options around that, so let's look at that first. Let's click on design and see if I click on any of these, you change the template, stars, moon, etc. Well, we can upload one of our own, so click on change background, choose an existing image. Now if I go to my desktop and scroll down here, Santa Heart, so I'd like to put this image in. Okay, so it doesn't actually appear immediately even though I've selected it. But let's click save changes and see how that affects it. And there you go. So that now it's a little bit more meaningful, isn't it? So every time somebody clicks on the page, they'll see these icons. We go back to our home page. On my profile page. So this is a grey area. If there's anything you want to put as a backdrop for that, you can. But right now we're going to take a look at the tweets that are out there already in something called a news feed. Now, as I explained earlier, let's go back to the home icon to take a look at this. As I explained earlier, you basically see everybody that's you've followed here in this window on the right hand side. So these are all, and this is in real time, if you like. So 17 minutes ago was that tweet, 16 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. So they update whenever somebody's online, and they update. Now that's fine when you're following 10 people as we are here. You're not going to see a great deal of traffic that you're not familiar with because you've selected the people you follow. But of course when you follow 100 people or more people, then it gets much more difficult to filter through. There's lots of different interest groups, etc. So in the next lesson we'll look at how you create things like lists. It's your own little organization guide to Twitter. It makes it much more manageable. But right now let's look at the individual following, and this is our list of people that we follow. Now, with all of those people, we have options such as unfollow them and follow them back, so it's fairly instant. We can also click on their individual profiles, and you'll see when they're last logged on. You see their profile the same as you've got a profile, so you can find out a little bit more about them. And you can see a full profile on this link, and you see here, as we did on our page, it's created a specific background personal to him. And of course, anytime you need to get back to your default page, go to home, and that'll take you right back to the position. So Twitter's full of helpful suggestions, as I mentioned, the header photo, and it's a prompt there at the top, so you will see things like that. At the moment, we're not looking at actually putting a tweet out there, but if we look at the tweets that are sent, if I look, for example, at, again, back to that list, and I look to myself and the last tweets that I sent. Here's a training video. So I have the option now, if I click on this, and I'll see the full list of tweets that have been sent by this user in that particular time. And because I'm following them and they're not secured, they're not protected. So yes, here's the tweet that was sent, and you see when you click on the actual area here, you've got three options. You can favorite it, you can retweet it, and you can reply. What do they mean? So favorite is very useful if it's something you want to go back to later. Again, your favorite tweet. So it may be something with a particular link you're interested in, it may be some feedback that you've received that you want to show on your page. So if you click favorite, a little star icon appears in the corner, and that's now stored. We'll show you where the favorites are stored in the next lesson. This is the option where it's more relevant for people with a larger following, because at the moment you're only going to retweet to a following of 1, which is actually Paul Wilson in this case. But when you click retweet, just to show you, and then you click the retweet button, that's a message that could have come from anybody else that you see on your network you're interested in, and you click retweet, it goes to all of your followers. The other option is to reply directly to a tweet. Click reply, immediately the name of the person at PRwilsonmedia comes up, and you say thanks very much, and then you click tweet. I'm not going to do that now because I want our first tweet to be special. But that just gives you a basic idea of the home page, of the news feed, followers, and following. In the next section we'll go into the other parts, the direct messages, mentions, discover, and we'll orientate all the way around Twitter. Thank you very much.